And welcome to the Aaron Katsman Show. I'm your host, Aaron Katsman. We're here to speak about your life, your money, and your investments. And as always, we're coming to you from the spiritual and soon-to-be financial capital of the world, Jerusalem, Israel. If you got any questions or comments, feel free to email me at Aaron, AARON, at lighthouse with an L, lighthousecapital.co.il. That's Aaron at lighthousecapital.co.il. You can check me on the web at www.aaronkatsman.com. That's www.aaronkatsman, aaronkatsman.com. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on LinkedIn. Somebody told me I should mention LinkedIn specially, so I got to get LinkedIn in there. And of course, subscribe to our brand new YouTube channel where you get all the videos from the beginning of creation, basically, that I have made in one spot, which what could be better than that? Just put me on a loop. Run the Aaron Katsman Show like for days and days and days. You'll be smarter for it, I guarantee you. And you'll be well rested. So what I want to speak to you briefly about is the need to ask why and to keep things simple. What do I mean? I've been getting a lot of calls recently and for people who are looking to invest. And what they want to know, the first thing they always ask me is, so like, what stocks do you like, right? Do you like Bitcoin? Do you like GameStop? Do you like Boeing? And I don't like, first of all, I never like getting into those conversations because I don't think they're particularly productive and they take a lot of time. But more importantly, I try to stop the potential client and I ask, slow down, right? What you're asking me is almost the easy part. What you really need, what I want to find out from you and what you need to ask yourself first before you take the plunge and you start to invest is why? Okay, why am I investing? That's what you really need to ask yourself, right? Am I investing because I'm 20 or 30 years old and I'm investing for the long term for retirement? Or if I'm 40 and 50 investing for retirement, or if I am 75 years old and I'm living on fixed income and Social Security, why am I investing? Am I investing because I need to marry off my children or I want to buy a house, right? These are things that you need to know before and be able to answer those questions long before you decide what it is you're going to invest, right? Because if you're investing because you want to buy a house in 2 years, well, I don't know that you want to be investing in some kind of a long-term investment, obviously, because if things go against you in the short term, well, there goes your house. Conversely, if you're investing, if you're a millennial or what is it called, a Generation Zer, I'm an Xer, so I guess we're up to Z. And what comes next? Anyway, what do we do after Z? We start again, Generation A? Like what's going to happen? Anyway, that's an aside. But seriously, if you're investing for the next 40 or 50 years, well, maybe you shouldn't own CDs, for example, right? You should be more growth oriented. So you have to ask yourself before you ask your advisor or your friends, what's the best investment, which there is no best investment. What should I invest in? Should I do the Bitcoin thing? Should I do the GameStop thing, the Reddit strategy, if that's a strategy, or should I just buy Microsoft, whatever it is. I'm not giving recommendations, obviously. You have to ask yourself why, right? Why am I investing? What is the point of my investing? And then you can start filling out the pie, right? That's very, very important. You are watching the Aaron Katsman Show. I am your host, Aaron Katsman. We're here to speak to you about your life, your money, and your investments. If you've got any questions or comments, feel free to email me at Aaron, AARON, at lighthouse with an L, lighthousecapital.co.il. That's Aaron at lighthousecapital.co.il. You can check me out on the web at www.aaronkatsman.com. That's www.aaronkatsman.com. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on LinkedIn. And be sure to subscribe to our brand new YouTube channel and tell a friend, right? Bring the whole family to subscribe. We need subscribe. We're desperate for subscribers. I'm going to do like a subscribe-a-thon. Jerry Lewis, right? Got to subscribe to the Aaron Katsman Show video YouTube channel. Okay, so we spoke about the need, first of all, to ask why. Why am I investing? The next question I think that you need to do, or your overriding strategy, has to be to keep things simple. Okay, too often I hear clients who are just trying to make things so complicated, so convoluted, right? I'm not even talking about the Bitcoin, right? There is a difference. I must say there is a difference for high net worth individuals and sort of mass market, right? I have some very, very high end wealthy clients. And the fact of the matter is, they might invest in, first of all, they get what's more important. They see all kinds of really, really interesting, I would say interesting, not necessarily good, but interesting types of investments that many people in the mid-market will never see or will not have the opportunities to invest in, right? I know somebody who once invested in a shipping company. Most people aren't going to have that opportunity. Whether that's a good investment or not, it's a different question. International real estate, all these types of things. I'm not even talking about art and more basic things, which are usually attributed to high net worth individuals. But even still, even if that's the case, so you should know, right? They're not putting all their money in shipping companies or in real estate in Nigeria or in South Korea, right? Most of their investment monies are going into stocks and bonds. That's just the way it works. Stocks, ETFs, whatever it is, mutual funds. That's just the way it is. The overwhelming majority of their money goes there, unless they're like real estate people, where then most of their money goes into real estate. But for the majority of people who are high net worth, the overwhelming majority of the percentage, the highest part of their allocation by far goes into stocks, bonds, ETFs, mutual funds, that kind of thing. And then real estate. And then these other kinds of satellites, whether, again, if I'm just picking on shipping, but it could be whatever it is. But for most of you who are watching, you want, like I say, you want to keep it simple. Don't make things so complicated, because there's no proof out there. And there have been a lot of attempted proofs, where a lot of people doing lots of research in this business of investing. There's no proof that the more complicated your portfolio, the better you're going to do. Okay? Take it from me. I've got people who have come to me with incredibly complicated portfolios. And the first thing we try to do is we try to unwind the complication and make it easy, right? KISS, what is it? The abbreviation KISS, right? Keep it simple, stupid. But that should be like on top of your computer screen or whatever you're doing when you're picking investments, on your phone or what have you. You've got to keep things simple, because the more complicated it is, first of all, it's going to be hard for you to follow things which are complicated. And we are all very, very busy, and 99% of the population doesn't really care about spending all their time following their investments. They'd rather, especially since the pandemic is sort of over, so they say, right? They'd rather go outside whip off the mask, right? And play tennis or go to the beach or go to a baseball game, right? They'd rather do that than, sit down and start analyzing the PE ratios or the PE to growth ratios or the cash flow ratios, of some investment. Or, again, I'm going back to the shipping, but what are the shipping rates going right now? And, are in the Suez Canal, if there's a potential war, how that's going to impact shipping, right? Most people don't have the head for it. Most people can care less for it. And that takes a lot of time. And as I said, there's absolutely no evidence that the more complicated your investment strategy, the better you're going to do. So you can keep it simple, right? Whether that's a passive approach, just, pick a few basic ETFs or mutual funds and just let it rip and just add money to them and don't really make any changes. Or if you want to go to the route of individual securities, which I'm not opposed to, but buy, instead of buying the next best thing, the next best Chinese, whatever, internet company, or the next best small, SPAC that came out where, it's worth now $300 million and they've done $1.5 million of revenue. Stay away from that kind of stuff, right? Keep it simple, right? Buy large companies, buy leaders in industries or in sectors. That's the way to do it. And that's the way to make money over time. There's just no question about it. And there's no research that says otherwise. And as long as there is no research that says otherwise, keep it simple. And ask yourself before you make every single investment, right? What is the goal of this investment? Why am I investing my money? Okay. And it shouldn't be because I want to have fun, because you can go to the casino and do the same thing, right? You should have a point. There should be goal. There should be multiple goals you might have, right? Retirement, right? Buying a house, paying off student debt of your children or whatever it is, putting them through college. These are all things. And most people have multiple goals, and those goals change as we go through life. because milestones change and you achieve certain goals, right? So you have to adapt your portfolio over time to enable you to do that, because ultimately, right, the overriding reason we invest is to achieve whatever it is, whatever goals we have. That's why. It's not to be buried with as much money as humanly possible. It makes no difference at that point. Okay? So know why you're investing. Keep that always in front and center, right? Know the reason you're investing, number one. And number two, keep it simple. Don't get overly complicated. This has been the Aaron Katsman Show. I'm your host, Aaron Katsman. We speak to you about your life, your money, and your investments. If you got any questions or comments of what I said here, what you'd like me to speak about, interviews you'd like me to do, or just sharing recipes with me, feel free to email me at Aaron, AARON, at Lighthouse with an L, lighthousecapital.co.il. That's Aaron at lighthousecapital.co.il. You can check me out on the web at www.aaronkatsman.com. That's www.aaronkatsman, aaronkatsman.com. You can follow me on Twitter, follow me on LinkedIn, and be sure to subscribe to the brand new YouTube channel. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, and we'll speak soon.